The subjunctive is one of the most misunderstood parts of English grammar, but it's actually based on one simple idea. We use it when we're talking about things that aren't presented as facts. In English, we use tense to show the relationship of time to the subject and the verb of the sentence. When we talk about a possibility, a demand, a wish, a requirement, or a recommendation, that is something that may or may not happen. We need to change the mood. English has three main moods. Today, we are talking about the subjunctive mood. We use this mood to express wishes, hypotheticals, recommendations, and necessity. You probably know that a wish is something I want to be true, whether it is likely or not. A lot of time I'll tell my students that a hope is something that might actually become true, and a wish is something that is less likely to happen. I hope to get a good job. I wish I could fly. A hypothetical is an unreal situation I can describe as a possibility. For example, imagine you were a bird. Would your attitude toward trees change? You can use your imagination to answer a question based on something that is not now nor might never be true. A recommendation is when I believe I know the best course and I tell or I suggest it. I suggest that you don't pack too many clothes when you go on a trip. For now, let's stay with recommendations. This is probably where new English speakers will find the most use for the subjunctive. This is the present subjunctive. It is used after verbs that express insist, demand, recommend, request, suggest, require, ask, order, and propose. With all of these examples, we are talking about something that hasn't happened. We're talking about some kind of perfect world where I have given the best idea and it has been followed. Subjunctive talks about possibility. The way to construct a sentence using the present subjunctive is subject plus verb plus that plus the subject and plus a base verb. I require that my student learn how to spell. I suggest that he drive. Base verb means we do not conjugate the verb according to the pronoun. Sometimes it will be with a linking verb and an adjective. I suggest that he be respectful. So the base form of to be, which is be, is used with the adjective. I insist that all my students be quiet when we are in class so that everyone can hear. I ask that you be nice to others who are also learning English. This is grammar that native speakers often get wrong, or at least they just don't use it very much. Don't be too shocked when native speakers conjugate that verb instead of using the base verb. I ask that you are nice to others who are also learning English. This might not be as correct, but it wouldn't surprise me if you heard it. The difference is that native speakers don't have to pass grammar tests. You will have to practice enough to use this grammar form while testing, or practice enough to avoid it while testing. There are also many adjectives that might trigger the subjunctive mood. Important, essential, necessary, vital, imperative, crucial, or advisable. It is important that you be nice to people. It is vital that he listen to me. Not that he listens. He listen to me. Once again, you will hear native speakers get this wrong, but they aren't being tested. We may express close to the same suggestions with the modal verb should. He should be nice, or I suggest he be nice. What is the difference between these two constructions of close to the same idea? The phrase I suggest softens this so it doesn't sound so commanding. But what happens if I substitute I insist for I suggest? I insist that he be nice is now even stronger than he should be nice. The subjunctive seems to be on its way out of English. It used to be used much more. Here are some idioms we still use that use the subjunctive form. You might hear, long live the king. That is a wish that the king survives. You might hear, heaven forbid. And that's a wish that you wouldn't see the next thing that they say. Be that as it may. That means these things might be true, but I still want something to happen. Come what may means whatever happens, happens. Suffice it to say, suffice means let it be enough. Truth be told means kind of something like actually these days. Far be it from me, I would never do this thing, and may you. We might say, may you live 1,000 years, or may you wake up with cold tomorrow. You can wish for good or for ill with may you. I saved the best for last. The past subjunctive is the best aspect because this is where we talk about wishes and the unreal. Remember what we are talking about here. Once I say the word if, I am setting up what is called a hypothesis. This is a situation that only exists in the words that I use. I am not describing something I saw or something that happened. We are talking about a situation that is just talked about for the purposes of talking about it. The verb to be is the only verb to have a past subjunctive form. Everyone, I, you, he, uses were. If I were a bird, if he were happy, if they were not 8 years old. To finish a statement like this, use the modal verb would or could. Would means it's a direct outcome of the imagined hypothesis, and could means that it's a possibility from the imagined hypothesis. If I were a bird, I would have wings, for instance. All birds have wings. If I were a bird, I could fly. Not all birds can fly, but it's a good possibility. By far, the most often you will hear this phrase is in the words, if I were you. I would listen to my teacher if I were you. The speaker puts him or herself in the place of the one that they're speaking to give advice. I wouldn't push that button if I were you. I wouldn't shoot that gun if I were you. The past subjunctive is the language of dreams and wishes. It is important to understand how to describe what is. It is also important to describe what could be, or even what will never be. I hope I have cleared up why and how we use the subjunctive mood in English. This concept will be a lot easier for you if you come from Germanic or Latin languages, but if you were coming from an Asian language, it would be much harder for you to understand the subjunctive and learn how to add it into your own English. Please let me know if you have any questions. I don't mind explaining more in a future video. Until then, like the video, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.